Hello, beautiful women. It's Sophie Musumeci here. I have such a delight for you today. If you are looking to be inspired into action and to completely change your life, then this is definitely the interview for you. I have the beautiful Sarah with me. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sophie. Thanks for having me.
What was that?
I feel a bit famous.
Totally famous. You should feel famous. Sarah has got such a beautiful story. So I just want to firstly say thank you for your time to share the story with someone else because it's very inspiring. So why don't we start at the beginning? Why don't you tell me where you were at well before you came into our world and what you do, what you're doing in your coaching now?
Yeah, cool. So I am a vet of 11 years and I still am working full time as a vet. And I've been working in mixed practice all that time. So that means like big animals, small animals, all the animals. And I absolutely love that. And at the end of 2023, I was a recipient of a Rural Women's AgriFutures Acceleration Grant, which is a bit of a mouthful
Mhm.
this pipeline dream to create an online coaching course for graduate vets or vets that were just struggling because our industry is quite hard and challenging. And I wanted to create something to give them a really powerful start to their careers and to foster, really strong emotional well-being strategies and basically cultivate resilience for the next generation of vets. So that's kind of where I was at, I guess. And yeah, it was really just a dream, and it's something I'd sat on for probably 2 years. And then at the last minute, a friend said, "Oh, you should apply for this grant. I think it applies, it really would fit what you want to do." And when I got the grant, all of a sudden it was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing," but also shit. Like now I have to actually do it and I have to bring it to fruition. And I had, I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't really have the how part down pat at all. And so, yeah, that's kind of then I again, just like the grant, just stumbled across you. Um, and yeah, and now I'm here.
All the stars began to align to bring that dream to life.
Yeah.
So, it's quite exciting, right, when you're seeing a need in an industry which is impacting so many people's lives. I mean, I have pets, so we all know vets, right? And they work super hard, long hours. So it's so great to see someone being able to stand up and support them. So, what has your journey from being a vet into entrepreneurship been like?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Um, it's been very up and down. So it's quite ironic, I guess, because my course is a lot about mindset and resilience and perception and all of those wonderful things. And yet throughout that entrepreneurial journey, it's been very up and down. And you have those moments where you think, "Oh my God, I'm killing it. Like, this is so good. And I feel so great about it. And I really want to do it." And then you have those really often followed by those really down moments where you think, "Why am I doing this? Like, I'm busy enough. What's the point? It's too hard. I already work full time." So it's very up and down. And I guess, throughout that time as well, I had already done a few little like mini social media courses and other, bits and pieces along the way, which I thought were going to help me figure out how to market it and how to pitch it and launch it and the logistics of it all. And none of those things were really helpful enough. And so, I was creating what I felt was a really good product, essentially, or service, or a bit of both, I guess. But I felt quite disheartened at times because I didn't know what to do with it. And tried I tried Instagram and I tried doing reels because my target audience is actually quite a bit younger than me. Um, they're in their 20s, they're just coming out of uni. So their platform, I felt like, was really that Instagram space, but it felt really disconnected from me. And then I was trying to make reels because everyone was saying that people were just watching reels. And then my content is quite heavy at times. And it's also not something that you want the general public kind of looking at because it can be about, patient loss and negative outcomes and all of these things. And so it just wasn't the right fit. And when I found you guys, I was really stuck on, I felt like I'd done all this work and then I didn't have a clue how I was going to get it out there without doing paid ads, which I really didn't want to do. And I also didn't have the sort of funding to do that either at the time.
Yeah. And if it's not working organically, a paid ad strategy is not exactly going to be it's not going to help fix the core problems, right?
Right. And I personally hate paid ads coming up on my newsfeed. So, um, yeah, I was like, well, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to do that. So, yeah, it was very up and down, which I think is probably the case for most entrepreneurial people, particularly women, because I work a lot with women. My course is really tailored for women, and we're very different to men in lots of great ways. But we are very hard on ourselves and we doubt ourselves, and so yeah, there's a lot of up and down.
Yeah. Yeah, and trying to get things working, right? Taking this idea and this vision and actually putting it into a system. So what's it been like on the inside of the Wealthy Woman Mastermind for you?
It has been great, and I have to be honest, I definitely haven't utilized it to its absolute full potential. There's so much in there. And not to make excuses, but I've got two little kids and I work full time and I do on-call emergency after hours work as well. So I'd love to just stay in there for like a whole year to really tap into it. But the fact that every step is there and it's laid out in chronological order and everything is, just a little action to take, a little actionable step is what has got me across the line and has helped me actually bring my idea to fruition, because prior to that, I'd just been given such a general kind of information, or you should do this and you should do reels like this. But there wasn't like, right, this is the first step, this is the second step, and then when it came to launching my group, I was sort of like just following the steps and it took so much of the pressure away. And, the funny thing about my group was I launched it on a Monday or whatever the recommended day is. And my mother-in-law, who's very intuitive and I'm very close to her, she said, oh, I'm just going to come up this week because you're launching your group and I'm just going to come up and hang out with the kids and help you. And I was like, oh, I don't need help. Like it's not a big deal. And in my mind, it was like, I thought if I got 30 people who wanted to join my group and 10 of those 30 people said yes to me reaching out to them privately, which is just another step that you talk us through, I thought, oh, that'd be great. And so then at the end of like 18 hours into having launched that group, I had over 100 group members that needed to be like approved into there. And 60 of those people said yes to me reaching out to them. And I was just like, holy shit, what am I going to do? And I said to the girls I work with, I have to have a couple of days off. And they were like, yeah, sure, like do it, like whatever. But because it was just like it's just little steps, it takes all the overwhelm away. And there's so much support as well. I think like it's just, if you're stuck, you can ask someone, and it's nothing like anything I'd done prior to that. It's amazing.
Well, it was very exciting. I remember that moment. We're like, it's good, it's all good. So we're here.
Excitedly overwhelmed. I was like, oh my goodness, it's happening.
Yeah. It's the best business problem. There's too many people for me to talk to, right? That's fantastic. And congratulations on the launch of your group. And what have some of your other wins been?
Well, just this week, I sold 5 courses on Monday.
Just on Monday?
Just on Monday, and then I sold another one last night. So I've been doing calls and I've been, connecting, and it's just all felt so organic, which is probably the biggest win. It's like women need connection, and women in my industry really need connection, because what used to be a very male dominated industry is now very female dominated, but a lot of things haven't changed in that switch. And so I think we all just really need connection. So it's brought me so much joy in that I can connect with these people in such an organic way. But yeah, and then from that, I've started to actually make some money, which is like pretty mind-boggling when you work at it for so long, and then it all starts to just flow and happen organically like that. It's so nice. And yeah, so I just have all these people that are doing my course now, and I'm here spending some time with my parents, and I was at the hospital with my mum, and I was doing a call with one of the girls who is doing my course, and I was in the ensuite of her, like of mum's hospital room, and I spent some time talking to her and working through her things, and I was like, this just brings me so much joy. And I thought it would, because I'm very passionate about it, but now that I'm actually doing it, it makes me feel so good. And that's the biggest win. Like, yeah, the money is amazing and we do it for that as well. But yeah, it's really cool.
It is really cool. Have you done the numbers on what level of revenue you've brought in so far?
Um, my course is $3,400. So like this week, yeah, that's like, well, I sold one last night, so that's like in excess of $20,000. Um,
In a
and
week.
sold a couple before that. So no, there was a few like coming in. Yeah. So yeah, no, I haven't actually sat down and worked out exactly how much. But even when I came to you and I needed the money to do your mastermind, and I was like, oh, like and was it Tonya? I think said to me, be resourceful. Like you're passionate about this, be resourceful. If you obviously want to do it, whatever. And so I just rang a friend of mine who I used to work for who employs vets. She has a small vet business. And I said to her, she'd been supporting me through all of this. And I said, oh, I found a mastermind that I think is actually going to help me launch it and, tick all the boxes and actually get it out there. And she said, oh, how much is it? And I told her, and she said, well, I've got a vet that needs to do your course. So let's just do, I'll buy a course now. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she said, I'd love you to mentor my team because my team's really struggling. And, I'd been giving her some tips prior to that. She's like, you know what? I can't do it. I just want you to do it. And she said, you figure out how much you need that to be. And anyway, and so she just paid this huge invoice that I sent her, and then I just did the course. And so when you, yeah, when you be resourceful and you start to trust that you're going to do good for others and that it's meant to be. And like it all sounds waffly and whatever, but it's so true. And it just all falls into place.
It's
Good.
not. It's not waffly. It's cool. You're in full alignment. What are you most proudest of?
Probably committing to do it because it's not an insignificant amount of money, but it's made a significant difference to me. And that you really have to back yourself to make that kind of decision. And like that's probably the thing I'm most proud of because that can feel really hard and really daunting. And yeah, I mean, just doing it, doing the do and backing myself to help someone else has been probably the thing I'm most proud of. I hadn't thought about that before, actually. That's a sneaky one you threw in.
You should feel really proud. We're really proud of you as well because, growing a business is not the same as working for someone else. And there are new skills that need to be learnt and there's different mindset things that are going to come up. So, we've adored working with you and, we're just really happy for your clients now because you were brave and you did the work. You're now able to go and help people, which is very cool.
Very cool. Very
Very
great.
cool. What would you say to someone who's maybe where you were right before thinking, I really want to get the right systems, the right business skills in place, but maybe they're also feeling like a little stuck or uncertain, or I'm not sure if I can afford it or whatever it is. What would you say?
I think you really like that's probably just comes back to that same thing. Like you really have to back yourself. And you really have to I guess, think really deeply about like, do I really want this and why? Like attach a why to it and then just do it because everything's there. You can't possibly fail if you do the do, but it's very easy for our subconscious minds to talk us out of anything that stops us from growing or getting slightly uncomfortable. And so, yeah, you have to just really tap into your inner self, I guess, and back yourself.
Yourself. Back yourself. Ladies, just back yourself. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you wanted to add that we haven't touched on?
I don't think so. I mean, I wish I could just stay in there forever. Um,
We can
but
talk about that.
hey,
We can talk about that.
I think, yeah, I think it's just like have the conversation. I think that's probably the other thing is it's very easy if someone reaches out to you and wants to help you for you to be like, oh no, I'll do it another time. But actually talk to someone like you don't always talk to Sophie, but someone from Sophie's team and help them help you tap inside and figure out what you want and if it's the right thing and like actually just open up and let for me it was like I stumbled across that and then I had the conversation. It was really like the universe and I'm like take note of the universe when it's trying to help you. If that makes
Yes, definitely. Beautiful advice. Thank you so much, Sarah. And obviously, if anyone knows a vet, right, or a new vet who's, struggling and wants to feel more confident in their role, definitely reach out to Sarah Golding online. I know that she'd be very happy to help them and has incredible skills and, as you can tell, a massive heart behind everything that she does. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your time. And I know you've got a lot going on as well. I really appreciated it too.
Thank you, Sophie. Thanks, guys.
Bye, ladies. See you soon. Ciao.